No, should not.
All right, we're here. You ready? Because once we get started, I'm gonna be riding your tail till this is over. She stays with the ship, usually. Got a few more years to go before I let her swill whiskey in some backwater bar. There's something you should know up front. I'm a co. As in, that tale I mentioned before, the one I think is connected to an artifact, it's something of a family legend. After Planetfall, Solomon spent years mapping Aquila, and he called it the Empty Nest. Said it was a place even the wildlife of Aquila wouldn't go. Solomon's maps are locked up tight in the local gal bank. We'll be heading there.
I'm listening.
Well, I doubt those robbers are gonna let us leisurely peruse the gal bank vault. We better see if we can help move the situation along. Here, this is for you. Well, I see your parents didn't skimp on your P's and Q's. I spotted it on our last planetary forum. Hey, I'm gonna pick things up one way or the other. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
I don't work till the weekend. Motherfucker, why? You have someone to
Word
it's
to the
Valentine's
wise,
Day, bitch.
avoid the stretch, especially active.
Ain't no way those
Aquila City. Feels like I spent half my life trying to get out of this place.
Watch it. Ships coming and going all the time.
Hey. Not yet. You're in the middle of something important.
You run into any trouble, let us know.
I told you to stand back.
I don't mean to be rude. Now please, stand back.
Aquila City at its finest, I see. Never a dull moment.
Well, I'll be damned. Sam Coe. Been a long time. I won't hold my breath about you being here to take... listen, Sam, just so you know. For the others, though, you might get a different reception.
Thanks. I appreciate you saying so. But I figure some of that reception is owed. Still, it seems you got a situation, my friend.
All right, Sam. Some folks from the Shaw gang tried to run. They took everyone inside. They're using the intercom to... They won't talk to me. Say they... In other words, they didn't have a plan. Say what you have to, but whatever they... Also, there are lots. Find out what they want.
Take it slow and steady. Look for every
Security You in the bank.
Joke.
I'm sending in a negotiator, so don't shoot.
Hands where I can see him, and don't try nothing. You're the negotiator, huh? If you think you're just gonna walk up here... Well, ain't you polite? So tell me, stranger, how do I don't know you. Whoa! Take it easy there. I ain't buying it. Nothing you say is gonna change my... We want to guarantee a safe passage. We'll drop the hostages off somewhere. After that, we'll radio back. But if anybody follows us when we break order... What, you think we want to stay... Then persuade the marshal that... This whole damn job's gone wrong. So let's just... What do you mean? It's up to the marshal. If the hostages die...
Aquila City is a lot like other cities in the galaxy. Haves looking down on the have-nots.
Marshal might take
On
us...
New Atlantis, things are a lot
it's
better.
too late to back out now.
There, the
You go
gals are
tell the
kept
marshal to
firmly
get
out
that
of view.
ship ready, so...
Lone Wolf.
All right, we're here. There's something... That tale I mentioned before? After planetfall, he called it the... Solomon's Map. Here, this is for... It's not a gift. I spotted it on... Hey, I'm gonna pick things up one... I'll keep my eyes peeled. I doubt those robbers are gonna let us leisurely peruse the Galbank vault. We better see if we can help move this situation along.
Watch it. Ship coming and going all the time.
Copy, what's your name? Is it Mr. Pace?
You run into any trouble, let us know.
Security around here is a joke. The Shaw gang's making fools of us all.
I told you to...
Can you believe we lost a war?
I don't mean to be rude. Now please, stand back.
Aquila City?
Well, I won't hold my... listen, Sam. For the others, though,
Thanks. I appreciate you saying, but I figure some of that. It seems you got to.
All right. Some folks from the show, they took everyone in. They're using the internet. They won't talk. In other words, they...
Three-star culture? Got lucky.
Say what you have. Also, find out what they...
Take it slow and.
Hey, you in the bank. I'm sending in a negotiator, so don't shoot.
Hands where I can see him. You're the negotiator, huh? If you think you're just gonna walk up, we'll cooperate when we... So tell me, stranger, how do... I don't know. Well...
Hi, doggy.
I'm so ready to get out of here. Okay, I can see you're not just the marshal's tool, so let's talk. We want to guarantee a safe. We'll drop the hostages off, so after that, we'll radio back. But if anybody follows us when we... Oh, hell, the free... So let's just... What do you mean? I know. I'm not this... Damn it. I didn't think of it that way. Maybe you're right.
We weren't above bombing cities like Aquila during the war.
Yeah,
That said,
nobody's been hurt.
cleaning up after all
So
this
maybe the
time.
judge won't come down too hard on us. Yeah.
You'd make a decent ranger with the way you handled that.
Those guys are scared. I can tell. What's the word? Well, I'll be a son of an ash. Considering those are Shaw's people, that's damn near a miracle. Here. You got us out of a tough spot. You did. As a matter of fact, if you're interested, head on over to the Rock and ask for Emma Wilcox.
They've got the marshal by the balls.
All right. Now that lives aren't on the line, let's get back in Galbank, see if we can get those maps.
Marco! Are you alright? They didn't hurt you, did they?
It's okay. I'm okay. I just need a minute.
Okay, we'll take it from here.
All right. The family has a few different deposit boxes secured in here, so let's look around. Here's a copy of the key. Okay, now remember, Solomon was from an earlier...
He's talking about a Halo flood meme. Did you not hear him? I think, what's his name?
Generation. So it's not going to be on a slate. Big bundles of paper is what we're after. Let's see. Need to find find those maps. Take it easy.
Copy! That's just wrong!
Oh, no. Jacob. Of course that old mule saw this coming. There we do. I was hoping to avoid the estate when we landed. Cora's gonna be so mad. What? You just figured it all out by yourself, huh? Alright, fine, he's my dad, okay? We're not exactly on friendly terms. He
Why
probably
is
figured I'd
Connie
come for the
leaving?
maps at some point and got ahead of me.
Oh.
God, that's the worst part. They're thick as thieves. Last thing I need is Jacob in her life. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, well, sorry I'm such a pain about it. No forgiveness between me and my... All right, shall we?
Is Solomon Co. really all that? Some make it seem like...
That's the Rock. Ranger Central. Not a bad bar, too.
Anything good? We're here to help.
Well, well. Sam Coe finally decides to darken our doorstep again.
You know why I'm here.
Oh? And what's that? You come to your senses? Realize where you ought to be for once?
I ain't asking again.
You ain't asked once. Let's hear it.
Damn it.
I want you to say the words about what's
Feeling
more
better off
important to you
not
than
knowing what
family.
alien species this stool is from.
This was a mistake.
The only mistake I'm seeing here is you. Bringing your Constellation lackey here instead of my granddaughter. Come to help Sam loot his ancestry? You're not getting those maps. There's only one place a Co ought to be. And it ain't out there in the Starfield doing Lord knows what. Putting our future at risk. Nothing's more important than family. Nothing.
All right, that's enough. Come on, let's you and I talk. Give me a sec. No. I mean, this... Yeah, like I said before, they're thick as thieves. Damn it. Fine. We'll go get her.
Well. Sam Coe finally decides to darken our doorstep again.
You know why I'm here.
Oh? And what's that? You come to your senses? Realize where you ought to be for once?
I ain't asking again.
You ain't asked once. Let's hear it. I want you to say the words about what's more important to you than family.
Okay, this was a mistake.
The only mistake I'm seeing here is you. Bringing your Constellation lackey here instead of my granddaughter. Come to help Sam loot his... Nothing's more important than family. Nothing.
All right, that's enough.
Welcome home, Sam. Make your...
Give me a sec. You're flying in the face of my 30-plus years experience with them.
Sam's Constellation. You mean besides the fact that you're some independent group that doesn't know where your loyalties lie? Or are you referring to the fact that my granddaughter... How did you... That's none of your... Fine, if it'll get you all out of my hair, you can... They're in the other room. Here.
Damn it. Better off not knowing what it is.
All right, let's see. All right, let me think. The way I heard it, the readings he was getting... There. Found it. First, it's in the middle of the frontier, which we already expected. No problems there, but the usual tussling with alien wildlife. But the empty nest is a cave right in the middle of... Me too. But there's no helping it. We're gonna...
We're taking the car.
That bank robbery sounded... You're in the Vanguard, right?
Greetings, Captain.
lost you for good.
Grab everything useful.
Should be swarming with Ashta. I won't put one paw on you.
The mark's mine.
Make a hell of a team.
There he is. Finally, you decided to show up.
caves can be a real good place to hole up.
They really needed is a better flashlight. This flashlight is not.
You've done this before, right? Care to do the honors?
You okay, kid?
Find anything?
Okay.
It'll take more than that.
There we go.
Hey, you alright? Okay. Yeah, you're fine. Let's get going. Won't lie. My heart stopped for a beat when you passed out. I'm glad you're still with us. Certainly. Cora has the complete top-of-its-class learning videos and lessons. And I have to occasionally do some of the old homeschooling. Fortunately, mainly it's the videos. Around when she was 7, she could already see the cracks in my knowledge. Come to think of it, I think she's doing an introductory college course in astrophysics. Not being graded, like, for fun. She's so weird. There's no next. I want to be exploring until they pry the boots off my cold, dead feet. I mean, Cora will go to university, and the price tag there is scarier than any jam we've been in. But for me, my truest love is the next star, the next horizon. I've seen my fair share of scrapes. Actually, a triple share with a massive bonus worth. Some folks say I'm the luckiest man alive after making it through some real whoppers. But the trick is to always keep a cool head. Impulsiveness, fear, adrenaline, all those will get you jumpy. You get too jumpy, your target could be 5 in front of you and you'll miss every time. There's so many planets. Most captains just sail through the Great Black. A lot of the time touching down on a virgin planet can be... But every now and then, that. Yep.
Alpha Industry. Oh, top left corner. Thank you. This will be my single fire because that is a lot of damage. It's a 725, and this will be my automatic. And we'll keep this as the precision. If that's not good enough, we'll go for the A17.
I think that's far enough. Hate to put a hole in the head of Akila's own prodigal son. At least not before we've had a word.
You must be Shaw.
What I am is disappointed. Sam Coe in the flesh, and he's peddling around the frontier with the has-beens of Constellation. Now you got past my crew, who I pay quite handsomely, I might add. Grabbed something from that weird cave. Probably whatever's been keeping the Ashta away. So, I'm down one hideout. Now, let's talk. Shit. So that thing was keeping them away?
Boss, it's the Ashta.
You. This is your fault. You better lend us a hand.
Motherfucker. Got
I think that...
You must be Shaw.
What I am. Now you got past... Grabbed something. Now... Shit.
Boss, it's the Ashta.
You. This is your fault. You better lend us a hand.
lucky the boss is so generous.
I guess I owe you something for dealing with the Ashta. Take it and get lost. Get out of here before I change my mind.
Here's the real test.
We're in one piece. I'll call that a win. Let's get back to the lodge.
You are entering United Colony space. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned. Attention, our scan indicates you have
Only 65%? Wow.
We're in one piece. I'll call that a win. Let's get back to the lodge.
Welcome to UC space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. All right, we're done. You're cleared to land.
Good.
Let's get that artifact to the lodge. Hey, we're back. Newest member of our little family really pulled through for us.
Is anyone hurt? You didn't let Cora handle the artifact, did you? We don't know what effects it might have on someone her age.
Relax, we're fine. Go ahead. Time for that Just, what are we building here?
I haven't picked up any kind of frequency or signal coming from it.
That doesn't mean much. This thing could be emitting something we can't even detect. As far as we know, we could be building a gigantic bomb that will blow up as soon as we finish it. Or maybe it's some kind of interstellar children's toy.
Why would either of those things give the Discoverer visions and music? It's a message. I'm sure of it.
We just have to hope that finding more of the pieces will give us some clue.
I hear that. Moving forward sometimes means fumbling around in the dark. I think Cora and I can use some downtime. Oh, and since it tends to come up, me and my Rugrat co-pilot work as a team. What do you think, Cora?
It's really nice to have more
What? Data? All right.
Read any good books lately?
You've got something for me? I'm right behind you.
It's been quieter around
good
here
to be
ever
out and
since
about.
Vladimir went to live on the
Well, that's
ice
it
full
then.
time.
We could do that. What we really should do is the delivery, but oh well, this is a quick one. This should be a quick one
I just
based on.
don't know how he does it. Up there.
Our crew's starting to become bigger and bigger.
Smell of getting back into the harness.
I hope I'm not too late.
Hello.
Ever since we talked about the Battle of Cassiopeia, was it that obvious? Oh, I thought I could handle. I would like that. One problem, though. Pinpointing the crew. I think we need to start by... What's there to tell? Still, it turned out that my shuttle had just enough power. I wouldn't call what I did a soft landing. Hold on. I don't know the exact... For that, we are going to have to... Your instincts are right on. Logan and I butted heads more than once during my time with the Navigator Corps. Look, I hope this isn't... That truth is... I'm scared. If I be... I know you will. You've always been there when I've needed your... I've been... something I've... You're right. Hey, anyway, hopefully...
Crew.
Welcome to Deimos.
But what about to their citizens?
Deimos builds some of the toughest ships in the settled systems. That's probably why the UC Navy continues to contract with them to this day.
We cut it close, but it looks like I made it. You see this screen? This is what we call a FIDS, a flight information display. There was a time when I'd spend longer staring at that than actually flying. Let's see here. There was a freighter here earlier. Oh, look! Our friends from the Trackers Alliance stopped by. And hey, a maintenance shuttle from the Vigilance docked. I wonder if Captain Nikande is still having waste recycling issues. But we are missing one important departure. You'll see. Let's just wait a bit. Just stick around for a little bit. It'll be worth it. Maybe.
I wish Deimos was exclusively a military contractor.
Will you look at that? Dual disruptors, missile launcher with auto reload, and one very noisy autocannon. You get used to it though. The longsword is basically the reason why the United Colonies is still here. Hell, it's the reason why I'm still here. Ain't gonna win a beauty contest anytime soon, and she's old. I mean, this one goes all the way back to the Colony War. She'll get you home though. Can take a hell of a beating too. Trust me, I'd know.
Can you guarantee me?
That's her. Come on.
As long as the UC Navy maintains the operational schedule, yes, sir.
I don't want any caveats or asterisks here. I want assurances.
With all due respect, if your boss's boss tells me to reorder the cube, I will hop to.
Deimos ships are responsible for countless victories.
Can't
They're a
argue with
true
that.
piece of history.
If you want to survive out there, you've come to the right place.
Enjoy your stay.
I'd like you to meet Flight Lieutenant Mallory Beckett. Though when I first met her, she was just a cadet flunking flight school. Brass had this very intelligent idea that since we were both from the streets, I would be the ideal mentor for her. Show her the ropes, straighten her out. It was a disaster. A few weeks in, and we were moments from killing each other. When I last saw her, I told her that in no time at all, she'd be out of the service and back to peddling spice in the well. But look at her now. She's found her place in the people around her. She's found her place in the stars. When we were flying, she couldn't fly a longsword without hitting the bay door every time. But look at her. She's found her flock. You know, if I had gone, I'm sure very much I would. I didn't learn to fly in flight school. I had no instructors I could throw a data pad at when I lost it. I had no fellow students I could copy the answers off of during the big test. I had to learn to fly myself. Lots of people want to learn to fly. Who could blame them? It's freedom. Go wherever you want, do whatever you want. In a matter of seconds, your problems can be a million miles away. Yet so few people do. My theory is that it's less of a question of want, more of a question of need. You don't spread your wings, you come right back falling down to the earth. Back on Neon, it was a little difficult to be your own woman. Everyone wanted a piece of you. If you weren't part of a gang, you were just another mark. But I made it work. I wish I could say I did it because I didn't want to give some smug asshole the pleasure in knowing that he owned a piece of me. But it was more than that. It was more when said smug asshole got his, I didn't want to be standing right beside him. That said, stealing food from the store or grabbing the cred stick from your pocket got a little old. Not to mention it wasn't a very marketable skill. People didn't have a lot of time for a pickpocket. But what they did have a lot of time for was someone who was mean with a digipick, and someone who wouldn't be loud about it. Unfortunately, everything on Neon was either picked dry or owned by someone who could be a customer. So where was I going to practice my fledgling skills? Why, on someone who had never been to Neon, of course. Ships were my prime target. Freighters, frigates, or freelancers. Whatever fit on that landing platform, I considered it fair game. I'd get in, take as much as I could, then sell what I could. Turns out I was quite good at it. Too good at it, in fact. Neon was owned by the biggest drug dealers in the galaxy. But they had big dreams and big plans, and they weren't gonna let some two-bit thief spoil them. Wasn't too long before there was so much security on the landing platforms that even I couldn't get in and out without being noticed. I could have always thrown my lot in with one of the gangs, picking the odd lock and getting all the consequence for only a sliver of the return, but it wasn't my style. If I wanted to keep my hard-earned lifestyle, I had to change strategies. It was only then when I came to quite the realization. If I couldn't steal what was on the ship, why not steal the ship itself? Never did. Crazy to think about, right? It just got more and more dangerous, but I never strayed from the course. Like I was almost in autopilot. Gangs say you can either eat or be eaten, and I just snatch off their plate. Neon tells you where you can go, and I just fly away. Though, in this case, someone might have an issue with the term fly away. You know, I still remember it. The very first ship I flew. A Discovery-class ship. I remember the relief as I felt the force beneath me lift the ship. The only problem was I had no idea how to fly. I managed to get the ship a mile or two away from Neon before I could no longer keep the thing from stalling. Next thing I know, I see the surface of Voli Alpha hurtling towards me. The ship smacked into the sea, and I remember the water starting to pool at my feet. I just about managed to get out of there before that thing sank all the way to the bottom of the ocean. Wasn't gonna let a little thing like that stop me, though. Bit by bit, I got better. Though I couldn't say I did it myself.
Do you sell to the
Everyone that came after me, every cop, every mercenary, every bounty hunter just made me a better pilot. Not one of them stopped me from jacking the ship, taking it into orbit, flying to the inner system. By the time the authorities even had an inkling where I'd flown off to, I was long gone. Likely planning my next target right under their noses on Neon. It's a line of work I'd recommend. Variety of locale, cost-free travel, and very good pay. The one stipulation is, better not steal the wrong ship. I had a buyer waiting patiently for me in the system, but security had decided that day to show an uncharacteristic level of competence, and it sniffed me out. I really didn't have much of a choice over which ride to boost. Turns out it was always the wrong choice. I broke into the controls, but just as I was taking off, I noticed on the platform 3 ships that bore a striking resemblance to the ship I was flying. Their pilots were rushing towards them. Turns out the ship I'd stolen was a United Colonies longsword, and I was in for the chase of my life.
My CEO wants to know, can Deimos ramp up production? It's heating up out there.
Yes, sir. We're operating at 50%. You can easily take on more. But to go to the full 100, the supply chain for components would be the limiting factor.
That sounds like a serious problem.
We have many capable subcontractors.
You know, it's almost a blur. All I knew was that I didn't want to get caught. When I reached space, I immediately cut my engines, while I still had some atmosphere between me and those Navy pilots. When I burned them up again and headed for Voli Alpha's moon, I noticed only 2 UC ships were following me. I already lost one. Since usually not a single cop lost me at this point, I figured this was going to be a pretty short chase. If one pilot was already chasing ghosts on the other side of the planet, and I was pretty confident that I was about to lose the other 2. I was never sure if it was incompetence or laziness, but not one member of the esteemed Neon security ever came close to sniffing me out. I mean, it's a fairly simple trick. Hiding on the dark side of a moon, out of sight of every sensor until the heat died down. Your average mercenary, they were pretty familiar with the tactic. But at this point, I was sure my friends from the UC had been more or less duped. That was until I finally found out where our lost UC pilot had disappeared to. Turns out he was waiting for me on the far side of the moon. They had anticipated what I was going to do, and one of them broke off and made a beeline for the moon, just as I'd gotten my bearings. It was only a second before he radioed my position to the other pilots. Next thing I knew, I was surrounded. I get the feeling if you told me that then, I wouldn't have listened. I set my engine to full burn again. I don't think those Navy boys fully expected me to fly at them at full speed. Took a little while to get their balance before they gave chase. Everyone knows the Volii system for that big ball of water, but everyone forgets about that little barren rock deeper in the system. I was very familiar with it. Every time I jacked a ship, it was always where I'd meet someone to take it off my hand. Very seldom did someone chase me down there, though a few did. A couple of mercenaries once stuck close to my tail all throughout the system. Ain't gonna let some credits go just because they'd lost some ship thief behind some moon. They were patient, ruthless, but most of all, arrogant. Thought I'd lost them for a bit, but as soon as I was about to make a sail, there they were above Volii Beta, ready to corner me. If they wanted to dance, I was more than happy to. I flew down to the planet, maneuvering through erratic mountain ranges and jagged rock. Those mercs just couldn't resist, but they also couldn't keep up. I was hoping that those UC pilots were made from the same stuff. I managed to reach the inner planet, but going at full burn left my fuel gauge flashing. I didn't have a lot of time. I dived back down onto the planet. If they didn't come down, all that low flying meant I'd leave their scopes for sure. If they did, well, I know that planet better than they did. They'd end up just like those mercs. Viscera and guts spread across 100 miles. There I was, ready to fly through 2 mountains, until suddenly, there was nothing in front of me. Then it started raining rocks. Those assholes stayed in orbit, decided just to unload their ordnance at every vaguely protruding piece of rock in front of me, making sure there was nothing stopping them from keeping a good little track on me until I burned the last of the fuel. Or one of those flying rocks cuts me in two. The thought entered my mind, land in that makeshift landing strip they'd made in front of me, turn myself in, tell myself I had a good run. I reached out, grabbed the throttle, turned the nose of my longsword at the sky and went full burn once more. I had one last trick up my sleeve. Good to know I at least have one fan. The rest of the system had just about tired of my determination, and looked like they were finally going to get some much-needed relief. I wasn't sure what sound my fuel gauge was making, but I could tell it wasn't very happy. Tail was still burning though, and that was good. I still had a chance. Those other longswords were right behind me. Also good. I wanted to show them something. The Volii system has one other planet of note. A large gas giant, Volii Omega. Gas giants can be made of many things. Helium, methane, water. But Omega is made up of only one element. Hydrogen. By the time I had reached the gas giant, my fuel was hovering pretty close near empty. I figured, why not dump a few more things? By the time I'd reached the upper atmosphere, I started venting most of the cabin. Air, like we're breathing now. Nitrogen, argon, a little carbon dioxide, and most importantly, oxygen. Well, that's the fun part, kid. Hydrogen and oxygen are two of the most common elements in our known universe. Cute couple, too. Can make some fun times. They have their testy moments, though. You combine a sufficient amount of oxygen and hydrogen, and it can make one hell of a boom. You just need the right spark. And I was hoping that large flashing red fuel gauge on my console was simply advisory. By the time I'd vented enough atmosphere, I pointed my ship down into the gas giant. Then I went full burn. Wasn't sure what carried me deeper into that blue abyss. My acceleration? Or the explosion I created? Either way, I wasn't sure I was gonna make too many credits on a singed longsword. My shields, too, took a hit. But still functioning. You'd think someone was crazy for doing something like this, but I had done it before. Once. Some asshole from the Trackers Alliance had followed me for months. You know when a guy just doesn't take no for an answer? In a moon or rocky world was gonna convince him either way. But by the time he saw a big old fireball on the surface of Omega, he thought he'd finally got me. Lost his license after he collected my bounty. Turns out Trackers Alliance doesn't take too kindly when your target shows up alive a week later. Poor guy. So I figured the same trick would work on those UC Navy boys. By the time I'd left the atmosphere, they'd be long gone. I was pretty sure that was gonna happen, until I heard my comm system come to life. You know, normally, when a ship explodes, it leaves at least a little wreckage. Those UC ships hadn't budged an inch. From how clear the comm sounded, they were waiting for me. It was only a few seconds before I heard that asshole's voice once more. You think you're safe in there, but you are not. You may think that we are your enemy, but we are not. That gas giant is your worst enemy. Told me I had two choices. Whether I wanted to decide between letting my ship get crushed by the gravity, or let myself get cooked like an omelet by the planet's radiation. The next thing he said filled me with more rage than I'd ever felt at any point in my life. You also have a third option. You can point your thrusters downward and come up top. Then we arrest you. So you can spend the rest of your life safely behind bars. I did not. You know, I never knew if he took me up on my request for him to copulate with himself. Repeatedly. I mean, there was interference down there, but I did repeat many times, just so he got the message. If anything, it was more for my benefit. Like a mantra I said to myself as I rushed to the ship controls in front of me. I still remember his voice coming over the comms, as if he was so sure I'd respond, just when I pointed the nose of the ship downwards. Still had a little fuel left, so I went full burn once more. Dived deep in that big ball of gas. Shields were flashing. Hell, even a radiation counter was going off. But that was when I pulled back in the throttle and lifted her up. Soon I had more acceleration than my engine could even provide. It was only a hunch, but it seemed it was working. The gravity of the gas giant was now providing all her momentum. It was my first bona fide slingshot maneuver. They even caught a glance of those UC boys. Only for a second, though. I'd never been that fast. Trajectory was showing me heading for the inner system, just in time to offload the ride for a few credits and be back home before those Navy boys even begin to catch up. That was the plan, though. But as the line of trajectory started to accelerate, it looked more and more likely that my momentum was going to take me not to the safety of the inner system, but into that big beyond. My fuel didn't matter much now anyway, so I started immediately firing all my directional thrusters, trying some way to alter my course. Every time I faced death, I had escaped, so I thought, what made this time any different? The trajectory was slowing, but not enough. I kept trying. I felt the doubts creep in. That little voice in the back of my mind started to speak. Then I heard another voice. It was that UC pilot. Told me I was gonna die, but if I listened to him, there was a chance I could survive. As if I hadn't heard some variation of that all my life. I wasn't gonna listen to a single word he said, but then he said two words that froze my fingers over the controls, that stopped me from ramming my fist through that comms board. Trust me. I had no reason to. I stole a Navy ship and led him and his squad on a huge chase around the system. He had every right to blow me right out of the sky. I wasn't gonna trust him. No goddamn way. My trajectory was still looking pretty terminal, but it was slowing. If I just fired the right thrusters, fired my weapons, something, I could escape. I always did. But as I watched that line on the console, my hands froze above it. I only moved them. I think I picked a pretty good piece of profanity to scream before I smacked that comm panel and asked him, "What do I do?" At that moment, I felt something that I hadn't felt since I was a child. Fear. Utter terror. I was shaking, trembling. It filled me like whiskey in a glass. For so long, I thought I didn't feel things like that. Turns out I had just turned it off. When I turned it back on, I wasn't ready. I could barely concentrate on what the pilot was telling me. I had composed myself just long enough to tell me that the gas giant that was once my worst enemy had just become my best friend. He told me that for now, as long as I was close to Volae Omega, I had some hope, but my acceleration was closing that window fast. There's never enough time, is there? The gravity of the gas giant had an effect on my trajectory, but as soon as I left it, there was nothing short of hitting a planet stopping my velocity. He said time was short, so to listen to him carefully. I was already having my regrets. He knew my fuel was just about out, so I had to use it strategically. First, I was to use my maneuvering thrusters to turn the ship completely opposite in the direction I'm traveling. Second, for as long as I still had something in the tank, I had to hit a full burn. He heard some good profanity then, and I made sure to repeat the best ones, just so we could hear him a second time. But I think among those sweet expletives, I must have told him that would tear the ship in two, because he calmly replied, "Whether you have a ship around you or not, you're just as dead. Firing a full burn while in vicinity of that giant will give you a chance at easing your trajectory. This way, you have a chance." So I did what he asked, turned the ship around until it was facing opposite of where I was heading. Then, I activated the main engines. I was thrown back on my chair. The bulkheads of my cabin started to scream. Nuts and bolts started firing from the walls like bullets. Cracked a few computer console screens. Almost hit me. But on one of the screens still intact, I noticed my trajectory started to slow. Away from that deepest, darkest reaches of space and somewhere close to the Volae Omega's only moon. Lit a ball of ice. Not important. Until now. I knew my comm system had survived my ship nearly tearing in two when I heard him speak up. You know, I was almost happy to hear his voice. Even happier when he told me to cut the engines. That feeling, though, was short-lived. When he asked me if I remembered him telling me that only a planet could stop my velocity. Then he said, "A moon will have to do." I had nothing left to say but just to tell him to get to the point. He told me to use my maneuvering thrusters to ease me in line with the moon. Then my shields should absorb most of the impact. I spat at the panel, telling him I had no freaking idea if my shields still worked. Told him my little explosive stunt in Omega's atmosphere, and my little stay in its deepest depths, had drained my shields to its last little drops. Then he laughed. Guess we'll find out together. Telling me after everything we've personally been through, it would be a shame if I'm frozen in deep space, or some bloody stain on a moon. Saying at the very least, I deserve an all-expenses-paid trip to a UC penitentiary. I kicked the panel. Suffocating alone in deep space, or being a robin-shaped stain on a moon no one knows the name of, versus stuck in something that the United Colonies called a prison, was quite the dilemma. But for the first time in my life, I felt more than fear. I wanted to live. I maneuvered the longsword in line with the moon, and in moments I saw the moon fill up my view. I tried to activate my shields. Nothing. Pressed it again. Nothing. Kept pressing it, but there wasn't even a flicker from the bashed-in console beneath me. By this point, that moon filled my entire view, and I couldn't see a speck of the beyond past it. At this point, I felt I was only tapping the button just for therapeutic reasons. With only a few thousand feet between me and the surface, I closed my eyes and expected to never open them again. But then they did. I felt a thud throughout the ship. When I opened my eyes, I was looking at the surface upside down, then hurtling towards me once more. But then a blue light lit up in front of me. The shields worked. The long sword bounced along the surface just like tossing a blue pebble across the pond outside the mast building. Finally, I slowed, and thanks to my guardian angel up there, I stopped. I survived. No, I wasn't. I was happy, though. Something else I hadn't felt in... well, that too was short-lived. I wasn't getting off that ball of ice. The longsword was a write-off. Not only my problem, but the United Colony's problem, too. And they wanted to let me know, as soon as possible. It wasn't long before I saw those neon security ships land beside me. I can still remember those gloating eyes of the head security officer as he peered at me behind that security glass, like he'd done shit. Still, I guess he finally caught the one thing that had made his life miserable for all those years. As I prepared myself for my life behind bars, one of the UC pilots walked into my cell. Turns out it was the man himself, Mr. Guess We'll Find Out Together. A little gray on the temples, but otherwise everything you'd expect from your handsome, rugged Navy ace. I told him that he'd come just in time. Neon head cop just finished gloating, so he had her all to himself. He was a lot more confident thousands of miles away on the comm, but eventually he got around to tell me that he liked the way I fly. I told him that our brief time together will keep me going in those long nights in the slammer. Then he got all serious. Told me that I had a choice. That either I could spend the rest of my life in prison, or I could fly for the United Colonies. If this is my probation, it certainly isn't for good behavior. Would you believe I refused? He got mad. It was kind of hot. Asking me that even if I got out, did I want to spend the rest of my life picking locks, jacking ships, and getting into fights? That's when I got a little mad. Who the hell was this pedigree asshole to judge me? I accused him of wanting to turn me into the perfect little UC citizen. Some new Atlantis drone. Telling me that when I got into my next fight, someone should have my back. And he said that he could think of no one better to have her back than the United Colonies Navy. I said nothing. After that, I left Neon behind and signed up. Had to pay off that smashed up longsword somehow, right? But you know, I never did get around to leaving and going back to my old ways. You could say I found my flock.
No other ship can hold a candle to a Davis. It's not even close.
Captain Kelly, hello. I am satisfied.
All right.
We're on our own again.
Look alive! Look alive! Look alive! There won't be enough left for salvage when I'm done.
maintain your current course while we scan your ship. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
Nests are sometimes spotted by the mark.
The rock might have some work for someone.
Welcome to the Hitchin. Not quite opening day, but take your time.
And you're breathing? Back to normal yet?
Mostly. Still feels a little weird, though. Guess I'm not used to having to tune out.
They just walked in and tried to rob the place in broad daylight? Ah, it's not mine. Yeah, I guess technically the city owns it, but it's really... But yeah, I'm happy. Let's get you set up. You won't find a better selection of... Here you go.
Need something?
Akila's really the heart of
Well, I get more of
Welcome to Chunks. Thanks for choosing Chunk. I'm happy to serve. I just serve the Chunks.
We got a lot of bars in the city. All class joints.
Welcome to the Stone
Well,
Root Inn.
except
One of the-
Maggie's.
Just let me know if anything.
Howdy.
Excuse me. Work hard, play hard.
Jeez. Almost
Hard work and grit pay off in the long run.
You meet Aggie? Locals can be. Sure. Might not be the biggest selection. Here's what we got.
Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? We head now? More than I can count, but as everyone keeps telling me, the war...
Time to get more blackout. Just point me in the direction of the bar where they watered down the beer. What's the play? I might know a few. Let sleeping dogs lie.
If you need something to ease the pain, I can set you up. Second chances don't come. What's your order?
Yes? Just let me drink in peace.
You're two back?
Welcome
I shared
to
a
the
drink
Stone
with
Root
Rob.
Inn.
Oh,
Inn, isn't it?
that man can-
Check out our specials.
Welcome to you.
There are two
Gray.
certainties
Morgan.
in this. Universe. Death and eating at a Chunks restaurant. And to be honest, death is almost preferable.
New Atlantis Security has reported yet another Aurora overdose case. The psychotropic produced in the city of Neon is widely available there.
Don't be causing trouble now.
What I've got's better than any swill they'll... Best menu in town.
Feel for the folk in the
Even
stretch.
bigger shithole than I
I
thought.
try and give a credit or two to the Low House when I'm able.
Late one night, Annie Wilcox tried to arrest me.
The settled system is
Poe family reputation precedes them. Their gene goes back centuries here. Well, I say gene. More like Gene Puddle.
I'm proud to say this is Aquila City. The hitching post aims to be... Yeah, that's right. Been scraping together the money for months now. I swear half the people in the city think I'm freeloading. Anyway, that's probably... I'll show you.
Need a space here is if you want or not. What's up? city is a lot like other cities in the galaxy. Haves looking down on the have-nots. On New Atlantis, things are a lot better. There, the ghettos are kept firmly out of view.
Hello there. It's been a long time since I saw a new face at the hitching post. Did you? That is one way to end a conversation. Hello there. It's... Hi, Captain. Do you employ a crew? Excellent. I accept. I need to tell my family I am leaving Aquila.
You're welcome to just hang out if you want. Welcome to the hitching post. See for yourself. You're welcome to just hang out if you... I'm proud to say, take a look. The hitching post aims to be the... What do you have?
Well, hey there.
Pull up a seat, friend. Let's see what you fancy.
Picture, though.
A lot of famous people visit Tequila. Popping back a beer, you never know who you'll meet.
Just making my way.
to be helped.
So log 37. Capacity?
97.5%.
You should try Filburn's beer. It's brewed in the city, and it ain't bad.
Akil is really the heart of the Freestar Collective.
Hello. Good to see you. It certainly is. Why, the Stone Root's been around. Aquila City full. Here you go.
Eloise keeps this place running, and I guess I...
Pardon? Second chances, okay? I love you like a brother, baby. It's out there. You stay you. Be safe, right?
Aren't you a sight for Sora? More than I can count.
Ethan handles all the orders.
Came right on time. Ran out of booze. I might know a few. Let sleeping dogs lie, huh?
Sure did.
And you put in that order with Shepard?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, but don't take forever.
Oh, he has more beer. Lovely. Let's see if they share the same inventory.
More and more is time. City's been slow to keep up.
If you need something, might not be the biggest selection. Pick your poison.
Yep, they share the same inventory. Fuck.
I love you.
But right.
feel for the folk
Can
in
you
the stretch.
believe Freestar let their
I try and
brats
give
out
a
on the
credit or
streets
two
like
to the
this?
Low House when I'm able.
At least on New Atlantis, we hook them up to holosims and ignore them. Like civilized people.
Okay. Hello.
Eloise can
A lot
hook you
of
up with a
famous
drink
people
or a
visit
room.
Aquila.
I just
Popping
help
back
out
a
around the
beer, you
place.
never know who-
Keeping the inn running smoothly
Hey.
keeps me hopping. If you're looking to stay, Eloise can handle that. My job's, well,
My mother always said
everything
that
else.
we got a full menu.
I don't actually like that.
The Chunks fam. Welcome to Chunks. Please choose your chunk. Great. What can I get for you?
Not quite opening day, but close. I'm proud to say this is... Take your time.
Something to report?
Hiya.
You thirsty? Got all sorts of booze. And you thirsty? Go. Have a look.
What do you need?
Hey, how'd your day with Leah go?
It was, interesting.
Uh-oh.
Lecture on the great Solomon Coe, founder of the Three-Star Collection.
Came right on time.
How pathetic is it that I can't
Ran out of booze.
been dead for more than 100 years?
You're probably looking for
Oh,
Mary.
come on, Alex. That's just how she is. And besides, you knew that going
You should
in.
try Filburn's
You
beer.
need to find some
It's
common
brewed in
ground.
the city and
Show-
it ain't
Interesting
bad.
the things she's passionate about.
Work hard, play hard.
Read some slates.
That should be the Freestar.
Some questions. Meet her halfway,
Just
you know?
let me drink in
Yeah,
peace.
you're right. Guess I've got some homework to do if there's gonna be a second date.
That's the spirit.
What can I do for you?
This here's the best bar in town. Safest. You won't find a better selection of brew. Let's see what you fancy.
A year or two back, I shared a drink.
Terror in the spaceport. A tranquil day in New Atlantis was thrown into absolute mayhem. The sudden appearance of terror. Security working just with two unknown soldiers managed to defeat the threat before untold damage could be wrought to the rest of the city. As the city breathes.
You're welcome to just hang out if you want. The hitching post aims to see for yourself.
Thanks. Welcome to Chunks. Home? Great. What can I get?
Late one night, Annie Wilcox tried to arrest
The Stone
me
Route
for public
Inn is
indecency.
right away.
Be a terror when she grows up.
We got a lot of bars.
locals can be, okay?
You get that inventory done?
Sure did.
And you put in that order with Shepard?
Yes, ma'am.
You're a damn sight more reliable than my last bartender.
That's because rumor has it if I don't stay on your good side, I'm liable to lose a body part.
Don't go believing everything you hear about me, Nash. Most of it, sure, but maybe not that much.
But while I got your ear, I did want to say something. I ain't the best at expressing gratitude, but it really means a lot.
Hello?
Giving me this chance.
Again.
Thank you for that.
Well, you've proved your worth, so I might even let you stick around.
I might know a few.
As long as you don't go.
Let Sleeping Dog.
That is.
Not a chance.
If you're here about the blood stain, I'll get to it when I get to it.